Yes, now ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Let's talk about Saturday night's main event off the back of my predictions video, where I made some pretty good predictions. Now I'm pissed off, WWE, because I didn't get every prediction right. I didn't get 5 matches out of 5, but what I did get was 4 matches out of 4. So fuck you, WWE. You know what you were doing. And you know why you know what you were doing? Because that prediction I got wrong. I predicted against my hero, John Cena. I predicted John Cena to lose because it was a non-title match. And WWE said, ha, we're going to stick it to you. We're going to want your hero to win when you predict them not to. Fuck you. But we'll get into that later regardless, right? Now, first match, I said you were dumb if you thought Sammy and Punk were going to win. And I almost retracted that statement. But I'm glad I didn't, because obviously Sammy and Punk weren't going to win. And everyone was thinking, maybe a Sammy heel turn would come. No. Instead, we got the return of Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed's back off of his toe injury or foot injury, whatever it was. And it was quite poetic that he took out CM Punk, because Bronson Reed got injured in War Games. He was the 5th member of the new Bloodlines team, and CM Punk was the 5th member of the OG Bloodlines team. So that kind of continued that. But then also, he aligned himself with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, and he had a bit of a stare-off for Braun Breaker, obviously. Bronson being a big, powerful guy, and Breaker just being a powerful guy. And Seth accepted him, and he joined Seth, which is crazy, because when Seth Rollins came back to WWE after his break from WrestleMania 40, he had a feud with Bronson Reed. So they've clearly squashed that, and Bronson Reed is the 3rd member. Everyone's been deliberating about who should be the 3rd member of Seth's faction. People were saying Jay, people were saying Sammy. Hell no. It's Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed makes sense. You know why Seth says his faction is about the future, right? And you're probably thinking, well, how's Seth the future? You know, he's hit his prime, you know. How is Paul Heyman the future? He's been around for 20 years. But Braun Breaker, he brought Braun Breaker in. Everyone thought Seth was a new Paul Heyman guy, but actually he's not. Seth aligned himself with Paul Heyman and made Braun Breaker the next Paul Heyman guy. We know Braun Breaker as a future world champion. He's got the potential, young, athletic, powerful. His in-ring skill is remarkable. Now Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed is someone who we've talked about as uber talented. For the size he is, he's offered some great in-ring ability. And now he's part of this new faction where they have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, 2 incredible athletes, incredible in the ring, who've never backed themselves as characters and on the microphone, and they've never had that prestige, with an experienced wrestler, world champion and mouthpiece like Seth Rollins, an experienced manager and mouthpiece of Paul Heyman, who's brought people up to be world level. This faction is all about bringing up the talented up-and-comers who need that extra push, like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and I'm loving it. I am loving it, right? The only problem with Seth's faction is it doesn't have a lot of story behind it. It doesn't often make sense. Like, Roman Reigns and the Bloodline made sense. CM Punk and Paul Heyman made sense. Seth, I don't know. But I like what they're doing with the new superstars and putting them in a faction, building them up. I like that part. So that was 1-0 in the predictions. Next was Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green for the Women's United States Championship. And it looked like at one point the Secret Service were about to help Chelsea Green win the title back, but Zelina actually overcame that and hit a code red from the top rope and retained the Women's United States Championship. So 2-0. That was an easy prediction. I don't know why they put that on the card. Maybe to be add a women's match to the card, but you know, when I went to watch it and I saw it was only 2 hours long, I thought, how on earth are we fitting 5 matches in 2 hours? Like, if they're all going to be good quality, plus the amount of ad breaks. I swear to God, more than 50% of that was adverts and promo packages. About 30% of the show was matches. So it just shows you how short all the matches were, and most of them are major storylines, right? But then we had John Cena, R-Truth. Now, I get it's non-title. I get it's R-Truth. But it's John Cena. You know, I didn't think this would be slap bang in the middle of the card. I genuinely thought this would either open it up or probably main event. I thought it would. And in my prediction, I said R-Truth was going to win because it's non-title. Cody Rhodes is going to come back. Randy Orton's going to come back. And they're going to help Truth win. And this is when Cena's going to start to see things as he used to. And he's going to start going back to his ordinary ways. And let's talk about the match, right? Truth came out to Cena's music wearing Cena's gear. I love that. Cena just beat him up. R-Truth had a spell where he hit the 5 moves of doom. Cena kicked out easy. And then Cena went to hit R-Truth with the title. Second guessed himself, and we thought, here it is. He's starting to be good again. And he handed the belt to the referee. Referee went to put it away. Cena hit him with a low blow. So either he was sort of considering his bad ways and then just found another way to do it, or he was being smart and he was tricking the referee because the referee was watching him clear as day, and the title wasn't on the line, so Cena could do what he wanted and it wouldn't have to matter. But I think he wanted the satisfaction of a victory, so he low blowed him, hit him that 2 adjustment, won. I didn't expect that because there was no shenanigans, and Cena just left, and that was it. I was like, that's the match, done. But then we'll get into what happened later on. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre steel cage match. Now, I said Damian Priest is going to win this one because they had the WrestleMania street fight. They've now had the steel cage match. They're going to have a trilogy match to end this feud. You know, just like there was CM Punk, except McIntyre's going to come out on top of the feud. And then the match was alright. Obviously, it was a rushed steel cage match. How can you do that? Get Jesse Ventura off commentary as quick as you can. It ended with Damian Priest obviously beating up Drew McIntyre. He slammed the chair into his throat, hit him with a concerto. So Drew McIntyre was out. He laid there for ages. Don't understand why Priest didn't pin McIntyre then. Like, you know, that's not making McIntyre look weak. He's had a chair lodged in his throat and then had a concerto. Like, come on. But Priest walked out the cage. Which is not going to look good for Priest, because when Priest loses that 3rd match and loses the feud, Priest could never really say that he pinned McIntyre. Obviously, he did for the world title twice, but in this feud, he couldn't. So Damian just walked out. Drew eventually got up, but after a while. So that was crazy. But before Jey Uso's match, Jey Uso, the world champion, encountered the WWE champion John Cena backstage. And John Cena said, how poetic would it be? Well, no. He said it's been a long time. Jey Uso said the last time he saw Cena was when he eliminated him out of the Royal Rumble. Still pissed about that, right? Cena said, you know, I'm the last real champion. I'm taking this belt away with me when this year's done. How poetic would it be if you, Jey, lost your world title to Logan Paul, a YouTuber? That would really ruin wrestling. And I thought, you know what? It really fucking would, you know. If Logan Paul were to win the world title, it would ruin wrestling. And then I had people thinking, oh, could Cena cost Jey Uso? But then they teased, oh, I look forward to when I see you down the line. So we could be getting a champion versus champion somewhere down the line. But regardless, the match happens. Jey Logan is main event. Like, I know it's been the one advertised for the longest, and I know Jey's the world champion, and this shouldn't have been main event. I don't know. No, there was a reason it was main event. Okay, when I was watching the match, I thought, why is this main event? And honest to God, I thought if there was any way to please the fans, it would either be Jey Uso absolutely squashes Logan Paul. Like, I don't mean like 3 moves squashes him. I mean like, give it 5 minutes of Jey Uso beating the absolute shit out of Logan Paul and defeating him. That'll make people happy because they hate Logan. They like that a wrestler looks better than a YouTuber. And they might like Jey Uso a bit more. The other option was that they have great chemistry and they put on a banger. Because people question Jey Uso's in-ring ability as a world champion. Which I'm starting to get now. The Usos, I feel like, are at a decline. I feel like they're past prime now. Just being honest, I feel like prime was Bloodline and then they've just fell off, you know. We need Uso. We need the type of Usos that were feuding with the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Titles. That was amazing. You know, that was their best in-ring work. But regardless, showing Jey Uso's in-ring ability would make the fans appreciate him a bit more, and Logan Paul putting on a banger would make them forget that he's a YouTuber and they hate him. again, none of this happened. It was a back and forth match. Logan Paul botched a bit. Like, he didn't fail the moves, but his timing was a bit off, you know, with certain moves. And there was a really cool opportunity where Logan Paul went for that lariat that he does over the ropes, and Jey Uso countered it with a super kick. It would have looked so clean if Logan landed a bit closer to Jey and didn't have to run closer to him. I don't know if that's Jey's positioning or if that's Logan's landing, but he had to move forward a bit, and it ruined the flow of the move. But regardless, still a cool counter. But then Cena came out. Cena came out to try and help Jey Uso. You know, he took out the referee and he started beating up Jey Uso. And I'm thinking, okay, this is not what I predicted. Cody's not come back, nothing. Bang! Cody comes back. Cody's back, takes out Cena. So I was right in saying Cody Rhodes would come back. He takes out Cena. Logan Paul goes to hit Cody Rhodes with brass knuckles. Cody Rhodes hands Logan off to Jey, where Jey hits the spear, and Jey retains the title. Cody then gets on the mic and says, Cena, you've ruined enough. You've got your partner in Logan Paul. I've got my boy in Jey Uso. We'll see it Money in the Bank. So Money in the Bank, it's going to be John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Now, initially, you'd probably be like, why? But I like this. You know why? Getting the world title, like both world titles involved in this, right? And there was rumours of Cena teaming up with Travis Scott, and people don't like it, right? Logan Paul is a way better option than Travis Scott. I know he's still teaming up with a YouTuber in a main story wrestling feud that is so historic and so prestigious, and Logan Paul being there doesn't feel right. But it's certainly better than Travis Scott. Logan Paul's earned a lot more flowers than Travis has. So I don't mind this option at all. So 4 out of 5 predicted for Saturday night's main event. That's better than I can say for WrestleMania, and it's the exact same ratio, I believe, for Backlash. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tune in later today for NXT Battleground predictions, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.